Marsh is last.
Right? Okay, are we ready? All right, good afternoon. My name is Natasha Doctor. I'm a Minneapolis public school educator and a resident of East Isles here in Minneapolis. And today we are here gathered as community members to demand that we do not pit our unsheltered community members against each other, because that is not who we are as a city. And today we are specifically calling upon the council to do better than the mayor's budget and not let anyone out. And so I am going to first turn it over to another community member, Kristen.
Good morning. My name is Kristen Crabtree. I'm a parent in Minneapolis Public Schools and a resident of Ward 9 in Minneapolis. I want to, talk a little bit about my experience as a renter and a resident. My neighbors and I cope with the impacts of housing instability every day. We know that it takes a robust and multi-pronged approach to meet the needs of our community, and that Housing First is a data-backed best practice approach that's embraced by Hennepin County. We know that MPHA has encouraged the council to fully fund Housing First and to include in that stable homes, stable schools, as well as emergency housing vouchers. And we know that these programs ought not be pitted against one another. These are our neighbors, and many of our neighbors experiencing unsheltered homelessness grew up in systems of trauma, experienced childhood trauma, experienced adverse events as children that led to their experience of unsheltered homelessness. So this is a cycle where each part impacts the other, and we know that we are stronger together. We know that we do better when we take care of each other and that we support one another. And that means both our families experiencing housing instability as well as our individual adults experiencing housing instability, because no one is actually an individual. We are all products of this community. We all have family members and neighbors in this community, and we show up for each other. And I want to just ground us in some facts. Over 2/3 of people who are homeless in Minnesota experienced trauma as a child, and there is an alarming overrepresentation of Black, African American, and Indigenous and Hispanic Latino people experiencing homelessness in the Twin Cities. That means that this is an issue of justice for access to housing, an issue of racial justice, and an issue of making sure that we provide the equity that we all know we deserve as a community. We deserve safe, healthy, and desirable neighborhoods, and that means looking out for every member of our community. Thank you. Yep, Kristen Crabtree, Christin, and Crabtree is Crabtree. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Huang Murphy. I'm the CEO of People Serving People. And so People Serving People is the state's largest family homeless shelter, just a couple of blocks away, just right downtown. And, people might be wondering, why is People Serving People a family homeless shelter commenting on this? We are because families deserve better choices. Right now in this landscape, the reality is that there are impossible choices that people have to make. They have to choose between being on the street or engaging in survival behaviors in order to survive. We deserve better choices, and those choices start with the city. The city can make better choices too. One of those choices is showing families and showing children that we support them. Right now, this is an effort that pits community against each other. We shouldn't be doing that. We need the emergency vouchers, and we need stable homes, stable schools. We need both. If we say that we care about children, we also then need to show that we will care about the adults that they become. That is something that we can show now by not presenting this as an impossible choice, but one that we get to make, and one that the City Council and the Mayor has every authority to decide better. We have to fund both. We must fund both. And one of those necessary reasons is that we know the federal landscape is only going to get worse. Right now, we have 200% capacity that we are overwhelmed right now with families experiencing homelessness. removing those choices, removing those options from folks is only going to make that problem worse. And the terrible truth is that families can be hidden behind doors. And those doors are not safe. We must present families and our community with better choices. And so what I would just say to folks is that, folks just need more than bare minimum. We need to make sure that we ask for what we need, and we demand that, that we do what justice demands, not just what, the policy or what the budget might tolerate. We can do better, we must do better. Thank you. Yes, my name's Huang Murphy. So spelling is Hoang Murphy. I'm the CEO of People Serving People. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Naomi Wilson. I am a parent of a child in Minneapolis Public Schools. I am a volunteer with people experiencing unsheltered homelessness, and I am an advocate for Housing First. In 2017, Mayor Jacob Frey promised that he would end homelessness in 5 years. Here we are in 2025. The mayor is running for a third term. Unsheltered homelessness in Minneapolis has increased. And rather than pursuing every possible avenue to end homelessness, the mayor is presenting us with a Sophie's choice, funding stable homes, stable schools at the expense of emergency housing vouchers. These programs can coexist. There is room in the budget for both programs. Former City Council member Cam Gordon compiled some data, and it's estimated that in between the years, in about a period of 3 years, from about 2021 to 2024, the city of Minneapolis spent between $5.5 and $7.5 million in clearing encampments. We can only expect that the mayor will continue to find money to clear encampments in his budget. But he can't be bothered to find emergency housing voucher money for my friends who are experiencing unsheltered homelessness. We can do better, Minneapolis. We can fully fund both programs, stable homes, stable schools, and emergency housing vouchers. And I am calling on the City Council to introduce budget amendments that will do both. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sean Layden. I'm here with the Service Employees International Union, Local 284. We represent hundreds of workers in the Minneapolis Public Schools who are hourly workers, who keep our buildings safe and clean, and who make nutritious meals so our kids are ready to learn. And as some of the lowest paid workers in a public institution, our members are familiar with what it is like to have the most powerless pitted against one another when it comes to public budgets. It is unacceptable. The stakes are too high. Now, with the federal government targeting cities like Minneapolis, Chicago, LA, those of us who believe that we take care of one another, now is not the time to pit these communities against each other. We can do better, and we expect, our members expect leaders in the city of Minneapolis to do better and to find those funds. Because when the powerful come knocking in places like City Hall with demands for how to spend our public dollars, there's always a response to find it. Now is the time to dig deep and to come together and make sure we're taking care of our neighbors.
I'm Marcia Howard, M-A-R-C-I-A-H-O-W-A-R-D. I'm Marcia Howard, president of the teacher chapter of Minneapolis Federation of Educators, Local 59. And I am a longtime resident of South Minneapolis. Like you, I remember in 2017 when folks were running on the homeless crisis, and I have, as a resident, seen that crisis grow exponentially. But as an educator since 1998, I have maybe a unique experience of seeing people in encampments and at bus shelters that I once saw in a classroom. So having the Stable Homes, Stable Schools program be fully funded is a priority to me. But having emergency housing vouchers, which would fund 50 individuals and 50 families, is also a priority to me, because those people are the self-same people that we teach, that we are related to, that we love. This is Minneapolis. We don't throw anybody away. So when you think of the city council and all the muckety-mucks that make decisions, they need to be thinking about everybody. A budget is a statement of your values. It is a moral document. And I'm not going to sit here and determine at what age do I stop caring about the people of Minneapolis. Because stable homes, stable schools stops when somebody's in elementary school. Did you know that? And we are now thinking about expanding it to middle school. But you telling me that once that child turns 18, we don't care if they out in the cold? We don't care? We will not tolerate that city council making a choice between a person of 8 years old and 18 and 28 and 48. They need to take the time to find the funds to fund both. We are not making a Sophie's choice with the people of Minneapolis. We do not throw people away. We do not throw our people away.
All right, so as all of us have shared and stated, this is not a choice that we are going to make as a city. We are a city that cares about everyone, regardless if you're school age or you're an adult. And we are demanding that the council bring budget amendments that fully fund both of these programs.
Are there any questions?
So is it looking towards vouchers will be the ones that won't be voted or discontinued, or is it worried that stable schools may lose?
The fear is that one will be pitted against the other, and I'm going to be honest, I literally just got an ad from someone running for mayor where he has Kenesha in it, who was a recipient of Stable Homes, Stable Schools vouchers. So I think that's where his priorities are, because, I mean, that's what is going to work for running in a campaign. But that's not the only person in power. I am beseeching, I'm imploring, I am begging the city council to do everything within their power to write an amendment in order to fund the emergency housing vouchers. Y'all, it's October and it's been unseasonably warm, but it's Minnesota and people will be cold. People will be cold, and they have relied on emergency housing vouchers to get them sheltered, to get them housed. This,
I would say the mayor, he held a big press conference Friday at the local school, and he was talking about how other cities look at the stable home stable school program.
and I think that we are a dynamic, enviable city in a lot of ways, but we should not turn just the facet toward the public that shines the brightest. I think we should make sure we burnish every side so that it all can be shown off. How we treat our children, how we treat the adults, how we treat our elderly. You're going to be judged by how you treat everybody, not just what you're trying to show off for the cameras at a particular time. We need to consider everybody. And a budget is a statement of your priorities. frankly, I've been a school teacher since 1998, and I'm the president of Minneapolis Public Schools, and I think I'm supposed to be here and sort of co-sign, yeah, the kids and the families. Well, the emergency housing vouchers also helps the families and also helps people. They're young people, I mean really young people that are out in the street that need that. We can do it all. We can do both. We can if we have the will. If we have the will. And going forward, you're going to hear a lot of chitter chatter about what about fraud? What about this? What about waste? What about it's numbers and the will to get this done. That's what it's about. Anything else?
Yeah, so Sean Layden, ShaunLaden.
Is there anything else you didn't get that you might want? Is there anything else somebody wants to say that they haven't uttered? All right.
Thank you.
Go Vikings.
Go